I want to share with you a vision and a ministry that the Lord has called us to over the past 40 years. And that has been to develop a system of education, of thinking outside the box, to develop a system of education that will truly allow and enable every child to develop as much of his tremendous God-given potential as possible. Research scientists and neurophysiologists have estimated over the years that we only develop between maybe at the most 5 to 15% of our mental capacity. And I think perhaps one of the reasons for this is that we don't challenge ourselves. We don't do things that make us feel bad, that make us feel incompetent. We restrict ourselves. And if we could develop a program that would overcome that deficiency, or in part overcome that deficiency, perhaps we could do better. And this has been the heart of the Kirkwood Program over the past 40 years. Operationally, we define success along 7 different character development continuums: investment of energy, value development, goal-setting behavior, self-esteem, responsibility, independency, and spiritual growth and development. And the neat thing is, we take a young child or take a child into the program, we assume that they have none of those qualities. And very systematically, we take them through 6 steps of growth. So but by the end of the program, they've developed a high level on each of those continuums, on their character. Academic achievement is a result of the growth of character. Students become highly successful. Now, please view the following video. The most important thing that you can do as a teacher is to help the children God has entrusted to you to grow in character, to develop strength of character. Academic achievement is actually seen as an outcome variable, as a function of the growth of character itself. Academic achievement is the result of growth in character. Now, in our program, we define that operationally along 7 different continuums. Investment of energy, which is motivation, helping a child to become motivated, to want to learn. The second is value development. It's absolutely critical that children learn values. Values are the guidance system of behavior. It doesn't mean that you're going to do it, but you know what is right and wrong. And it's absolutely critical that we teach children why what they're learning is important and relevant for them and their success. We third want to teach a child to become goal-directed, of being able to define a project or an assignment and to be able to complete it, to be able to work in a learning environment for all the time on task, and to set a goal in terms of the amount of learning exercises that you're going to complete. The next is self-esteem. We want children to grow in their ability to see themselves as strong and as capable and as having the ability to learn anything. Part of what we're doing is teaching a child that they are truly the author of their own life, that they are responsible for the person that they become, and that we want to validate and we want to recognize every time a child puts forth energy in terms of doing something that is good and positive. We want to systematically build that child's self-esteem. The next is responsibility. To teach a child to do those things that he knows are right and true, based upon values taught, and not doing those things that hurt himself, that hurt other people, or destroy property. For a child to be able to take responsibility for his own behavior. We want a child to grow in his ability to work independently, of not having the teacher constantly have to recognize, to direct, and to guide the child. But the child over time takes this upon himself, and he grows as an active and independent learner. And finally, and probably more important than all of the rest, we want a child to grow spiritually, to be able to love God with all of his heart, with all of his soul, with all of his strength, and with all of his mind, and correspondingly to love others as himself. Now we think of it as a growth continuum, and a growth continuum of love. From loving those that love you, almost a fundamental concept and dimension of mental health itself, to be able to love and to receive love, the foundation of mental health. but we want a child to be able to grow from there to being able ultimately to love those that don't love them, that maybe in some way violate or hurt or make fun of them. And when a child can grow in their ability to love those that don't love them, I think a spiritual transformation takes place, and we truly become more Christ-like. But this is the emphasis in something that you always need to have forefront in what you're doing, is to help that child grow in character, being motivated in terms of valuing what he's learning, in terms of being able to set goals for himself, having a high level of self-esteem and a positive view of himself and his abilities, to grow in responsibility, to grow in his ability to work independently, and to grow in his ability to love God and to love others. The most important things that you can do